Welcome to AI Rounds, your weekly dose of AI in medicine and education.
We are your hosts, Dr. Nuria
and Dr. Morgan Leaf. Each week, we'll bring you a quick dive into the latest in artificial intelligence and how it's transforming healthcare, medical education, and medical communications.
From the tools changing how we teach, learn, and write, to breakthroughs shaping patient care. If it's new, exciting, or just plain useful, we're talking about it.
In just 10 to 15 minutes, we'll get you up to speed and maybe even spark your next big idea.
Let's make the rounds.
Hi, everyone. We're here with Lori today. We're introducing the speakers that are going to talk at the Early Career Medical Writers Summit in June. Morgan, why don't you go ahead and introduce Lori for us?
Thanks, Nuria. We are so lucky to have Lori Milto as part of this summit. She's a very experienced medical writer with expertise in marketing. And Lori, can you tell us what are you going to be talking about at the Early Careers Medical Writer Summit?
Well, my session is called Blindspots and Breakthroughs, How to Market Yourself Like a Pro. And that is really about one thing, helping the right clients find you, understand your value, and feel confident hiring you so you can build a stable, successful freelance business. Because the truth is, being successful as a medical writer is about much more than just being able to write well. And honestly, writing is usually the easy part for most of us. Marketing is what feels hard, especially if you come from backgrounds like academia, healthcare, or research, where nobody ever taught you about marketing. So if marketing feels awkward or uncomfortable, that doesn't mean that you're bad at it. It usually just means that you never learned how to do it in a way that actually fits freelance medical writing. And most of the marketing advice out there doesn't work for us. It can feel overwhelming, vague, too aggressive, or just completely unnatural.
You know, that's so true, Lori. I think that people think of marketing, right? And they think, I'm going to get out there and be very self-promotional.
And pushy and salesy. Yep.
Yeah.
And I would hate doing that too.
Yeah, exactly. They say, but every writer says this, but I'm an introvert, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
And the idea that you're going to talk to someone just because you want something from them, it feels like so transactional, So when people hear networking, they're like, no, but that's icky, that's sales. And I don't like that.
But it's not transactional. Networking is actually about building relationships with people and getting to know them. And marketing in general is not selling them something. It's showing how you can help them meet their needs. Totally different approach that makes it feel much more comfortable.
Absolutely. What's the number one thing that new medical writers ask you when they're getting started?
Basically, how to get started, what to do. Very often they've looked at some of the general marketing advice out there and they've tried things and it doesn't work. And then they get frustrated and then they just kind of hope that clients somehow find them and hire them. And that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And tell me, in addition to new medical writers, do more experienced people also come to you for advice? Who usually reaches out more?
Absolutely. I found that a little surprising when I started doing this because I thought it would be primarily people who were just starting their medical writing business or had a few years of experience and then tried it on their own and found that, they didn't know what to do and they weren't getting to where they wanted to be with their business. But I've had people who've been freelance medical writers and editors for more than 20 years take my courses. And in that case, they're usually doing okay, but they know that they could be doing better. And a lot of the newer folks will get a few clients. Maybe they get them through connections they had or the job they had before they went freelance. And then things happen. Clients' budgets dry up. Clients need fewer freelancers. They hire their own medical writers. Your contact leaves and they bring in a new person who wants to use their own freelancers. So all of these things happen. And, when people who never marketed lose a client, they don't know what to do. And also, usually in those circumstances, when you're starting out without marketing, without good marketing, you're pretty much taking whatever work comes along. And usually that is not with good clients who pay you right and treat you well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So true. Yeah. Yes. And I think you're speaking to an audience that we've noticed signing up for the summit already is folks who are employed and
Mm-hmm.
looking to transition to freelance, which is it's a big career change, right? That makes a lot of people nervous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very big career change, and it's I'm really glad to hear that people who are thinking about becoming freelance medical writers are signing up for our summit, because the more you know going in and early, the better you're going to be able to build your business. So
Yes.
it's great to be doing all of this stuff in the beginning. Otherwise, one, you struggle
Hmm.
often for years, and you pick up bad habits. So
Hmm.
by learning from the experts, it's just so much easier. One thing that I always tell people, I started back in 1997. The internet was in its infancy. There was barely anything on it. And people starting out today are so lucky because they have access to things like this summit, to things like all of the expertise that we offer through blogs and podcasts and courses and coaching. And it's a lot easier today to be successful than it was when I started out.
So true. It's so true. I think about that sometimes in the context of like when I was in medical school, right? And like deciding on my specialty. I was like, I like kids pediatrics or when I was applying to college
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all there
yeah.
was like a book where you would just read what colleges are available. It was so
Exactly. And
funny
and
to
that
think
was how I
about
learned to market my business. I just bought books, and they weren't anything about freelancing. They were just general marketing books, and I just tried to apply the theory and adjusted it as I went till I figured out what worked.
that. Right.
Okay, I have one more question for you, Lori. Like, you are a wealth of knowledge. How did you decide on the topic for this summit? How did you know that this is the thing that is most needed right now?
What I'm going to be talking about are some of the most common mistakes that people make when they're starting out
Mm-hmm.
and what they can do about them. And, we all make mistakes when we're starting out, but having some knowledge can help you avoid the trial and error that most of us go through and focus on what's most important. There's so much to do, not just marketing, starting your business, working with the clients. There's so much to do and to learn that it really is overwhelming. But if you have some knowledge of what you should be doing that's most important, then it makes it much easier for you to focus and do the things that are actually going to help you build your business.
So true. Perfectly said. Thank you so much, Lori. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, ladies.